It's very exciting because I've never been here in Sweden and especially on this track, so I really wanted to learn the track tomorrow and try to get as much of the 3 trainings that I will have to be very prepared for the qualifying. The driver is like the main thing because all the cars are the same, and you have to, every time you come with the academy, it's normally new tracks for the drivers, so you have to come and be fully focused to learn everything. The academy, it has a lot of challenges and it gives us a lot of experience because we have to come to the weekend and we have to be with the mechanic to prepare the car. You have to be always in the process to be in the top in the academy. I can say that it's much easier to drive in the front because you don't have to fight all the race. It's more calm in the front because you can calm yourself and just drive how you can and try to stay there and not fall to the back. This is the last round of the academy, and just a victory in the heats and the final can give me the chance of being the champion. So I'm gonna try to always be in the front of the grid and win races.
So a star performer on a star circuit. You come up and over the top of the crest, you fly through turn 1, you can keep yourself pretty much flat on the throttle in the Academy Trophy car. Then you come off the throttle a little bit through here, but you carry a lot of speed. You don't want to spend too long on the brakes. Then you hit the big braking zone into turn 4. But this opens out on the exit. Now watch as you come over the crest. Big air time if you get that planted just perfectly into the hairpin. Stay off the curb on the inside line. That will actually compromise you as you come through the edge of the curb. Then you come into the right-hand hairpin. You can catch the curb a little bit on the inside line there. A big overtaking opportunity here as you tighten in. Again, you miss the curb on the inside apex. You can catch it a little bit on the inside apex of the right. Then you come through a square right-hander, back on the power again for a double left apex. You keep off the curb for the entry and the exit, but you just kiss the white line. A little bit of rumble strip on the exit to get the car corrected. Then into that final hairpin, a good open exit. It's a good overtaking chance. Back and over the crest and into another lap at the Azam Ring.
Track, and we'll have a little look at the grid.
I don't think it hurts that the temperatures here are actually a lot cooler than they were for both Wackersdorf and Andrea as well. There's a lot of smiling faces in the paddock. David Walter and Ludwig Franzen, the Dane and the Swede on the front row of the grid. Then Leon Ochai of Japan and Riccardo Iannello of Italy. Oleksandr Bondarev and Darius Babiawana from Nicolas Roos and Leo Robinson. Nicolas Ambiado and Matti Koenig from Jevan David and Maximilian Schleimer. Then Salim Hanna and Federico Al-Rifai. Luca Neuenschwander and Saul de Colombres. Gazi Motlekar and Philip Ganna. Then it is Emil Gödrum, Alberto Benitez and Alexandros Papathimiou. A great talent of grid drivers here and some great performances. A lot of star power in the field this weekend as well. Good luck to Salim Hanna, who's trying to fight his way back through the field. He was a contender over the course of the weekend, but the Montoyas are here supporting and pushing him forward. Sebastian and Father Juan Pablo, two-time Indy 500 winner. They're both here supporting young Salim Hanna as he hopes to become the next big Colombian star up the karting ladder. But this is a very exciting moment for all the drivers. David Walter, so fast in time practice, wanting to put on an excellent show. Ludwig Franzen, though, he knows this circuit better than any other driver in this field. That will certainly help him out. But it's all going to come to how they get off the grid from the start. Are we going to get a good start straight away? Yes, we are, to the first corner. And it's a good start from Walter. Franzen is going to have to concede to Ochai as they go through turn 1. He runs a little bit deep, but that should keep it together. There's a spin in the middle of the pack. Unfortunately, someone facing the wrong way out of the first couple of corners of the race. 2 cars actually come off the road completely. So that is not good for 2 of the drivers in the pack. And we'll have to see who it is that's not come through. Franzen not getting a good start at all. And one of them is Salim Hanna. Salim Hanna is a spinner, as is Alberto Benitez. So there is Salim Hanna trying to get the car going again, but it's not going to happen. And the Colombian is out of the race on the opening lap. Gazi Motlekar has an investigation already starting to him. Maybe he had a couple of wheels out of the tram lines, but Salim Hanna and Alberto Benitez are out of the race already. What a shocker.
Yeah, that is a big incident on the first lap, but that's up the inside. That's a move there. Can't quite see what the number is, but that's for 4th position. Riccardo Iannello makes his way up into another position, gets himself into 4th right now, but I think I might know what that investigation flag was, and I saw making a move after the formation point on the track, getting himself into a higher position, trying to make up the positions that he's lost on that formation lap. Obviously not allowed to do that after the formation line. You'll see the red line on the circuit when the drivers drive past it in the final sector, but that may be the problem.
Well, he had a great weekend at Adria. Obviously, better. Yeah, a big lunge for the lead. That was Bondarev on Walter, and he's done it. What an overtake from Oleksandr Bondarev on lap 2. He launches up the inside, gets the overtaking move there on David Walter, and so Bondarev hits the front. The young man from Ukraine is now in the lead of the race, but David Walter will definitely want to take him on. We've been talking up Oleksandr Bondarev all weekend. He definitely has the potential to win not just this weekend, but also the title.
Bondarev, a major contender for the championship title coming into this round, and maybe even coming out of this round, he'll still be at the front of the field. Bondarev, that'll be his goal, that'll be what's in his mind. He'll be looking forward to that towards the end of the weekend. He just needs to get consistently quick and good results. If he's able to do that, then it's looking pretty strong for him.
So Bondarev, Walter, Leon Ochai and Riccardo Iannello. Jovan David is charging through the field as well. He's up in the 5th position. I was talking to his father last night. He doesn't make it easy for himself, but I tell you what, he knows how to fight his way back into contention. Jovan David up into P5. He's so good at this. Qualifying doesn't always go his way, but if that's the case, he just goes, right, okay, I'm going to charge back through the field, get myself in a competitive position again, and I'll fix the problem. Leo Robinson making good moves there as well. I noticed on the Brazilian Luca Neunschwander, not sure if he made the place up or not, but certainly going well. There is Jovan David in 5th position with the bright green on the helmet as he charges to work his way forward back up. Nicola Zambiado up 3 places as well. The Chilean going well in P6. And then we've got Babiawana, the Romanian, who's been much stronger in the second half of the 2021 campaign, going very well. Leon Ochai, though, Japanese driver, 3rd position, getting the fastest lap of the race. But purple sector for David Walter in this lap, and Luca Neunschwander actually has a warning flag against him. Not sure what that's for, but certainly he's done something to incur the wrath of the officials on that particular occasion. Ludwig Franzen trying to fight his way back into contention after essentially getting squeezed wide at turn 1. When you're on the outside line at the first corner, it's never easy to pick up grip. You get onto those marbles, you're struggling to hold the kart together, and he's ended up down in P10.
Especially at such high speeds, when you're on those marbles, you're just not able to do anything about the kart's control. As soon as you lost it, you go into a passenger slide. That was a move for 3rd position there. That was going to be Iannello, gets himself past the 5-1-2 and up into 3rd position, as Ochai will lose a position just after that fastest lap, loses out, drops down into 4th, and there we go. That's the confirmation for fastest lap, and also the overtake at 54.069 was set there by Riccardo Iannello. As
that's Philip Ganna. Philip Ganna's come into the pits. Unfortunately, the Nigerian seems to have a mechanical problem. So Philip Ganna out of the race by the look of it. That's unfortunate. He's been making big strides again this weekend and still trying to catch. Oh, we've had 2 karts come together in the 2nd sector. They're out of the kart together. Now that is Neunschwander and Koenig, I think. So Matti Koenig and Luca Neunschwander, they are locked together, and that's a damaged radiator for sure on Luca Neunschwander's kart, so that is not going to be going any further. Both drivers will be out of the race, and that is very unfortunate. So yellow flags will be at that point on the course, provided the marshals can get the karts off the circuit quickly, then they will be withdrawn, and they are indeed. So Iannello has now been lighting up the timing sheets and has caught up to the back of David Walter. So it's now a 3-driver battle with 3 laps to go after this one. So Riccardo Iannello goes sub 54 for the lap time at 53.987. He could snatch it away from both drivers here.
Iannello currently 0.2 quicker a lap than the 2 leaders right now. So in theory, Iannello is the fastest driver on the circuit right now. And there we see the 2 stranded karts there. They are finally out of their interlocked state. But Iannello, with just a couple of laps left on the board, he'll be chasing down these 2 leaders. He's arrived on the back of them, so he'll be thinking now, I know I'm the faster car, just need to get the move done.
Jovan David up to P4 past Ochai. Darius Babiawana up to 6th past Ambiado. So they're on the move as well. So this could be very interesting over the course of the heats. It's not just about what you're doing when you're leading the races, it's about where you are in the middle of the pack. Darius Babiawana getting that overtake for P6, now trying to close up on Leon Ochai and sets the fastest lap to make it easier. Watch how close Walter is getting. Look at this squabble for 4th place. David, Ochai, Babiawana, Ambiado. Babiawana up the inside, Ambiado trying to get there as well on Leon Ochai. And I think Ochai has ended up having to fall to the back of that little pack. Yes, he has. So Ambiado sticking his nose in to get into 6th position there. Good work from the Chilean. And now he is working in behind Darius Babioana. And for the lead, that is David Walter in the final turn. Has been able to get one over on Oleksandr Bondarev. He made a big dive. And that is a lead change. David Walter now into the lead from Bondarev. But watch for Ianello, because he will have watched that overtake happen. And now he'll be trying to get his move on the inside line. Watch for Ianello. He gets on the inside of Oleksandr Bondarev. Bondarev cuts him off as they get to the braking zone. So good defensive strategy from Bondarev as he holds on to the place. That backs Ianello up.
Brilliant driving all the way through the field. Walter gets himself into lead with a very late move on the inside, just able to secure that first position now. But Bondarev is going to be back on the attack. Will he be able to go around the outside? No, he isn't. Can he switch back to the inside? No, he can't. Has to sit in second position for now, though. Walter still holding on to the lead. Ianello, though, just sitting back, waiting for something to happen between the top two leaders right now. Just waiting for an incident to occur. As you can see, they're battling very hard. But up the inside, will he be able to secure the overtake? No, he isn't. So Bondarev tries to go on the inside, tries to replicate the move that Walter did on the inside into the final corner, but Ianello is now right here in 3rd position.
Last lap, this is it. You've got to make a move now, Oleksandr, otherwise Ianello's going to get you first on the inside of the hairpin. A bit of a cut-off, he runs wide, and Ianello's going to get them both! Ianello takes the lead away instead. So Riccardo Ianello gets into the lead in front of Oleksandr Bondarev. Walter is essentially backed into the path of Ivan David, who now has a chance to go for 3rd position. He tucks in on the inside of the hairpin, and Ivan David gets through into 3rd place. That has really compromised the race for David Walter as he tumbles down the order. Ambiado and Babioana both managed to get through there as well. David Walter down to 7th as a result of all of that shuffling, but Riccardo Ianello gets given a free gift from Oleksandr Bondarev, making the bid there on David Walter, and it backfired on him. Ianello is going to take the checkered flag. Great race from Riccardo Ianello. He wins it from Bondarev, and Ivan David ahead of Nicolas Ambiado and Darius Babioana. David Walter will be absolutely fuming. He went into the last lap in the lead, and he crosses the line in 7th place. What a heartbreak that is.
Walter will be absolutely gutted with that result there. He was in the lead going into the final lap, as you said. He felt like he had it. He was going to try and hold on to it, but just not able to do so. But Ianello, with the switchback, manages to get both positions into the lead. Brilliant driving there from Riccardo Ianello. No faulting him at all.
Sensational driving from the Italian. Oleksandr Bondarev did his best, went for the move. It was a good one, but he just drifted. Both karts a little bit too wide, and that was enough to give Ianello the gap on the inside line. He snatched the lead, and with it the victory. And what a comeback drive from Ivan David, 11th on the grid, and he finishes 3rd. He's so good at this. He knows how to get himself back into contention and do the business when the chips are down. So great performance from Riccardo Ianello and from Oleksandr Bondarev. They both made up 3 places. The clean-up operation starts for the marshals on track, but Riccardo Ianello takes the win from Oleksandr Bondarev. Ivan David even, do apologise. 3rd position there for the young man for Sri Lanka. Nicolas Ambiado and Darius Babioana, Leon Ochai and David Walter, Nicolas Roos and Ludwig Franzen, who couldn't get any more out of that race than 9th in the end. Maxi Schleimer in 10th from Leo Robinson and Federico Al-Rifai. Alexandros Papafthimio catching up to 13th in front of Gazi Motlakar and Emil Gyödrum. Sol de Colombres, and then the retirements. Luke, comeback drive from Tyler Jean Robinson and Alexandros Papafthimio, who both had problems in qualifying. Tyler Jean Robinson didn't get a qualifying lap time in at all through the first part of qualifying because she had a mechanical problem. And Papafthimio, the Greek driver, he had all his times deleted with a technical issue after qualifying yesterday. So both drivers have ended up having to try and fight their way forward, and they've got on with it. You know, they've made some good overtakes. Another one is the Brazilian Luca Neunschwander. You know, he had a bit of a grid, the young man from the Ukraine, and obviously Oscar Wirtz, the young man from Monaco, will want to have a decent run as well. David Walter and Maciej Glidic from Leon Ochai and Leon Zelenko, Oleksandr Bondarev and Oscar Wirtz, Nicolas Roos, Renaud Frankert, Nicolas Ambiado and Bart Harrison. Then Ivan David and Alexander Skelton, Salim Hana and Jaakko Leitinen, then Luca Neunschwander and Junio Kim, Gazi Motlakar from Mozambique and Matti Prus of the Czech Republic, Emil Gyödrum of Norway, Tyler Jean Robinson of South Africa, and the young star from Greece, Alexandros Papafthimiou, as the racers get themselves around the circuit. 18 degrees Celsius. It's actually a lot cooler than it was yesterday, a good 5 degrees less. And the track very dry. No chances of rain today by the look of the weather forecast. But these guys under a massive amount of pressure. They want to end this season in the best way possible, and this is always going to be a tricky one with the world's eyes upon them.
I'll tell you what, in this commentary box, it feels a lot more than 18 degrees.
You're not wrong.
Yeah, we're in a little bit of a greenhouse right now.
Yes, we are. But I suppose this is the vengeance for all the times when everybody's been stood out in the rain and we've kept ourselves nice and dry over the course of the season. I think we're getting our just desserts today. So David Walter and Maciej Gladys to the line. Are we going to go starting racing straight away? No. Oh, yes, we are. My apologies. We do go racing straight away. And Oleksandr and Bondarev straight into the first corner. And that's not in the first corner. That is on the grass, I'm afraid. So one driver going straight off the road there. Couldn't quite make out who it was. As Ivan David has made another textbook start. He is in 4th place. He started 11th. And Ivan David is right there in P4 as Leon Oleksandr makes his first bid on David Walter with Oleksandr Bondarev chasing them down. And Ivan David is in 4th position. Are we sure he's starting from 11th?
What a brilliant start there from Ivan David. 7 positions. Oh, no.
That's Tyler Jean Robinson. She didn't need that. She's already had all sorts of bad luck go her way from qualifying and then to spin out on the run to turn 4. That is so agonizing for Tyler Jean Robinson. That's definitely the worst case scenario for her. As up the inside, that is Ivan David on the move again, up into 3rd position. So what a brilliant opening lap it's been for the Sri Lankan. He gets past Leon Oleksandr, Bondarev in his 2nd, David into 3rd. This is going to be brilliant to watch.
How on earth has Ivan David managed to do this? 8 positions in one lap. Oh, but is he about to lose one? As they go side by side up the hill. No, he hasn't. He's just about held on to that position as they went 3 wide out of the corner. Ivan David just holding on for now.
I saw exactly how that happened. He now gets on the inside of Bondarev and he gets into position, so he makes up that 2nd place in the end. And further back, we've got Gladys battling away with Oleksandr and Ambiado. So they're having a terrific squabble. Gladys, I think it is, that gets there into 4th position. Yes, he does. So Maciej Gladys is now P4 in front of Ambiado and Oleksandr. I saw exactly how that happened for Ivan David. He got a little bit wide on the exit curb at the exit of 3, lost the kart, had to get it back again, and then as a result, he just missed his braking point by about 1/4 of a meter and just caught the back bumper of Bondarev's kart. The tiniest little love tap. That was all it took. And he had to bail out of the overtake halfway through making it, but he did the right thing. He let Bondarev get back in position. He let him have his place back. That was sporting from David. He realized, he knew he'd made the mistake there. He got back off the power, let him have the place back, and then he got him when the move would be clean. That was well read by Ivan David, and quite a wisdom of forethought there from the Sri Lankan to get himself now 1.6 back from Walter. All this scrabbling has now put David Walter into a dominant position up front.
Yeah, that's brilliant sportsmanship there from Ivan David, if that was the intentions that you just spoke out right there. But in 2nd position right now, losing a little bit of time to David Walter in the 2nd sector, loses a 10th to be exact. So nothing major, but Ivan David still in a pressure point right now with a lot of drivers breathing down his neck. You've got Oleksandr Bondarev, Maciej Gladys, both drivers very quick. And then watch out in 5th position, though, Nicholas Ambiado. He'll also be looking to make his way through the field. But a warning flag goes out to Oscar Wirtz. So Oscar Wirtz picks up a warning flag. Didn't quite catch what that was for, but the 5.32 clearly not in the steward's good books.
Well, he's down in 17th position at the moment, having originally started towards the top 10. So maybe he got involved in something, and the officials may have assumed that it was his making. But the thing with Ivan David is you do feel that there's a sense of urgency in this weekend, a sense of frustration. He finished 3rd on the road in the final in Adria and ended up actually on the podium, but he knew that he was going to get a penalty. Oh, up on the inside there, that's Bondarev, gets back through, as does Gladys. I was going to say that Ivan David knew he was going to... Oh, Gladys on the inside of Bondarev in the final turn, and Bondarev gets him back again. Terrific racing wheel to wheel. And now Gladys is going to try and get back on the inside line for Bondarev. Can't make it stick. David is trying to protect from Nicholas Ambiado. So they come through. I was going to say that Ivan David knew at Adria when he crossed the line he was going to get a penalty for being out of the tram lines by just a couple of millimeters, and that was enough to trigger the penalty. So he knew that was going to come to him post-race. So now he really wants to get that trophy. He knows he has the potential to be on the podium. He knows he can get there. So this weekend, he really wants to showcase that he has this ability to do it. He wants to put that doubt to bed.
in normal karting races, you have drivers swapping positions each lap. No, here in the Academy Trophy, we have drivers swapping positions every corner. That's brilliant to see there from Gladish and Bondarev, both battling for position. Currently in second and third now. They know that Walter's ran away with this race. 2.5 seconds is the gap that he has back to Bondarev at the moment in time. And that gap is just going to extend. There's no way that these drivers are able to break down the gap in the time that is remaining in this race. So Bondarev and Gladish, it's every man for themselves.
That is how dramatic the shift of momentum really is. Once you've lost a little bit of ground, you lose a lot more ground following after. And David Walter sets the fastest lap at 54.511 for him. Excellent work. Look at Nicolas Ambiardo. He's really stepping up the attack in 5th position to try and close up on Van David, and he gets right in behind him. Here he is, hustling in behind the Sri Lankan. Can the young Chile driver, Nicolas Ambiardo, make his bid to come through as they work their way through the S's and now up towards the flat-out right kink and then into the pair of left-hand squares, which is treated like one hairpin when you're in the car. And then you come into that final turn as well. But still, Bondarev holding this second place from Gladish, David, Ambiardo and Ochai. Then in 7th place, that's Jaakko Leitinen, who's having a great run here this weekend. Salim Hanna has made an amazing comeback. He's now in 8th position. Big moves from him, and he has come up from 13th on the grid to P8. So again, great work from Salim Hanna. Must be a Montoya or two helping him out on the sidelines. He's definitely got his confidence back. And then in 9th position, we've got Skelton, and then Harrison, Roos, Frankot, Wirtz, Zelenko, and Junior Kim. They're staying out of trouble. Leon Zelenko has been rather unfortunate in this race. Started 4th, of course, and has now slipped down to 14th. Big lunge from Ambiardo. Good overtake from Nicolas Ambiardo. That was really nicely done in the left-hander there as he dived for the inside hairpin. Now Van David's going to have to be careful as Leon Ochai will be on the warpath. But that was well timed by Nicolas Ambiardo. The young man from Chile really stepped up his A-game there. And now we've got Bondarev and Gladish tightening up with 2 laps to go. Walter has got this on a silver plate, but Bondarev and Gladish is not sorted. Anyone in this 5 collection of drivers from 2nd down to 6th, you need to stay alert because anything can happen from here on out.
Well, anything can happen, and we've seen that anything can happen in previous laps. Drivers swapping position corner by corner. There'll be a position made one lap and then losing another the next corner. I didn't mean one lap, I mean one corner, sorry, and then losing another the next. As going defensive, there goes Bondarev, and that's a move for 5th position there as Van David drops even further back in the order. That's such a shame to see from David as he now goes to the back.
Yeah, Leon Ochai, the Japanese driver, got the move on him. So up into 5th place goes the young Japanese. If they're not careful, Leitinen and Hanna are not going to be far away either. As Gladish has a little bit of a look at Oleksandr Bondarev. He really wants to take... Oh, and that's a retirement on the last lap but one. That's Alexandros Papathemiou. So Papathemiou has already had a very tricky weekend, but I'm afraid Alex is out of the race there. As we go into the final lap, David Walter is 3.6 seconds clear of Oleksandr Bondarev. Here they are, battling for 2nd. Bondarev, Gladish, Ambiardo, Ochai, David, Leitinen, Hanna, Skelton, and then back to Bart Harrison. Nicolas Roos is not far away either. Bart Harrison, a string of fastest laps from him to bring him into the battle. All this is going to take is one overtaking bid. But so far, it is enough for Bondarev to hang on in front of Gladish. Can he go for the move? The pole will really want to get into position. Oleksandr Bondarev just backing the field into each other. He wants to see an overtaking move from someone in the pack to open this up a little bit more, but I think there's going to need to be a brave lunge in the final turn. Well, Ambiardo, go for it. I tell you what, David is into the final turn. Walter is going to get the victory. Then it's going to be Bondarev, Gladish, and then I think it will be Ambiardo from David and Ochai. Good comeback move in the final bend there from Van David to go P5. But for David Walter, that is the easiest race win the Danish driver is ever going to get.
Well, it wasn't easy. He still worked for that one, but it's not like he had any pressure on him from behind. But Bondarev, he'll be on rails on that final lap, just parking it on the apexes of the corners, not wanting to even give Gladish a look at the inside. But Van David manages to slip past as Ochai just leaves the door open on the final corner. David sees the gap and goes for it and gets himself back into 5th position. Great recovery drive from him.
It really was very well timed, which means we've had victories for Dion Gauda across both of his heats. The Singapore driver has been very strong indeed. And then, of course, we had the victory from Riccardo Iannello in the previous heat, and now David Walter in this one. So it's still... very close, but Dion Gauda will go into the evening as the interim leader. So a very exciting battle for all of the competitors as they come through. But here is the win, and it is David Walter. Oleksandr Bondarev in second from Maciej Gledizh and Nicolas Ambiardo. Jevan David in front of Leon Ochai. Jacko Leitinen in front of Salim Hala. Then Alexander Skelton, Bart Harrison, Nicolas Roos and Renaud Franco. Then Junior Kim and Leon Zelenko, Oscar Wurz and Luca Neuenschwander. Mate Prus and Gazi Motlakar. And then in 19th, we have Emil Gjödrum. Then the two retirements, Alexandros Papathemiou and Tyler Jean Robinson, who didn't quite manage to make it to the end of the first lap. Very unfortunate from the young racer from South Africa. Great battles all the way through the Academy Trophy, but going into the interim this So a hello to the other competitors who were not able to be with us. Svirdis Simkus of Lithuania, Mark Kastelic of Slovenia, who's not been able to be present with us, Kanaka Guzazi, the Indonesian, who started with us at the beginning of the year and has not been able to continue, Aaron Krepchik of the Hungarian contingent as well, Jordan's Hamza Al-Fayez. I was really looking forward to seeing him come out, but unfortunately he's not been able to leave his country due to the world situation. A similar one that has befallen Bahrain's Shantosh Kumar. I would have loved to have seen what he could do out on the circuit. Nemanja Jovanovic as well for Serbia. It's not been possible for Nemanja to get out racing either. So we're going to have a very tough race battle for them. So let's hope that in the future we'll be able to see them at an FIA karting category. It's been wonderful to welcome them into the community. Sadly, we've not been able to see them out on track for this season finale, but we will hopefully see them again in the future. Right, the Academy Trophy's not far away, so let's take a flying lap around the course with the man who knows it best, Ludwig Franzen. In the Academy Trophy card on the X-Prix chassis, you really do blend the throttle into the first corner. Just a slight blip is all you need to carry the speed through. You keep that energy traveling through into the second corner. In through three, a little bit of rumble strip on the exit. Now you get a big braking zone as you try to keep the kart nice and planted through turn 4. Up and over the crest, tiny bit of air time, a couple of millimeters on the air. Then you come through the hairpin. Keep the kart nice and planted in the middle of the apex. You don't want to be too close to the curb. Then you come through into the right-hander. Again, this time you can catch the curb and a dash of white line on the exit up towards turn 8. You get very tight into the hairpin, but you keep the throttle nice and balanced as you go in through the right. Now you come up to a square right-hander. You're pretty much flat on the throttle through this, but hanging on to the kart. Double apex left. You treat this as one hairpin. Keep the kart in the middle of the circuit as you come through. Then hit the brakes into the final hairpin. A good exit gives you plenty of rhythm and momentum. The balance of the kart should be nice and planted here. And as you come up to turn 1, you've gained a lot of momentum.
Preferable for any of the drivers around this field, but it's not as bad as we've seen with some circuits around that first corner. It is quite possible to maintain your position even if you're starting on the outside of the grid, but here is the grid.
David Walter and Dion Gauda for Denmark and Singapore, Leon Ochai of Japan and Caleb Gafrara of the United States, Oleksandr Bondarev of Ukraine and Nando Weichselbaumer of Austria, Nicolas Roos of South Africa, Mark Dubnitsky of Estonia, Nicolas Ambiardo and Augustin Bernier, Jevan David and Noah Montero from Salim Hanna and Lucas Flusha, Luca Neuenschwander and Lenny Kiefer, Gazai Moldlakar and Daniel Moalem, Emil Gjödrum, Stefano Cagnolo and Alexandros Papathemiou of Greece. Now, it's very close at the top end of the grid, and all of the drivers in this heat in the top 5 overall of the rankings have a good chance of snatching the pole position. Gauda has 0 points accumulated, 2 wins, 2 0 scores. Bondarev has 4. Gledizh, who we've just seen finish his heats, has 5. Walter has 7, but so too does Caleb Gafrara. So it's very, very tight at the top end of the field, and it's not clear who's going to get the pole position. So the drivers will be very tight-knit as they come off the 9 laps of this Academy Trophy heat. For Dion Gauda, it's all about staying calm and staying focused. For Bondarev, he needs to attack a little bit. Let's see what happens as we go green Up to the first corner, well planted from Gauda. He's going to slot into third position. He's trying to hold it round the outside without losing too much traction. He's down to fourth. That's not too bad. Otshai and Bondarev have managed to get through into second and third positions already. Gauda's about to lose fourth place now as Gafrara attacks on the inside, I think that is, to try and come through into position. Jevan David's there again. How does he done it every time as Otshai now goes for the move on the inside of David Walter? That hasn't worked. It's left the door wide open for Bondarev. Bondarev going to try and come through up the inside line. Fourth position is Caleb Gafrara. Now he's third. Jevan David up into fourth place. And there's problems further back. That, I'm afraid, is Lenny Kiefer, who has come together. Can't quite see who he's gone there with, but they're both off at turn 5. And I think that was Lenny Kiefer connecting there rather sadly with Daniel Mualam, the Israeli. But look at these four already very close together. It's going to be an exceptional run. And there's 2 more in trouble. That's up at the chicane, I think. So problems there. Oh no, that's the same 2. I do apologize. Look at this over the tail. We've got Walter, Gafrara, Bondarev and David scrapping away for the victory. This is so close between the 4 drivers, and there's a little bit of breathing space between Walter and Gafrara. The young man from America, he's about to lose second place. There goes Bondarev. There goes David into third position, and watch out for Leon Otshai, the Japanese driver, trying to get through in the inside line as well as Noah Montero, I think that is. No, sorry, that's Nicolas Ambiado battling away with Dion Gauda and Luca Neunschwander. Montero battling away in the midfield with Bernier Dubnitsky and Gierdrum. This is an amazing start. Jevan David is right there in third position behind Bondarev and behind the leader, David Walter.
I was just about to say, what a brilliant start from Caleb Gafrara to get himself in the second position, but unfortunately he has lost those 2 positions there to Jevan David and Oleksandr Bondarev. These 2 drivers will be battling at the front of the field. They'll be battling for second, but up the inside, is that going to be the move there from Jevan David? Gets himself into second and plants it there. So now Caleb Gafrara is arriving onto the back of this battle. Will he be able to follow Oleksandr Bondarev through in the first corner? Yes, he will. But that is going to be Gafrara up into third, and also it looks like Otshai was able to go through as well.
Indeed he was, but with Dion Gauda down in 6th position as David gets back into 4th place on Otshai, with Gauda down in 6th position, that means that the pole position would go the way of Maciej Gledij. So this is a big moment for Dion Gauda. He needs to get back into position as Nicolas Ambiado gets the warning flag. David on the inside of Otshai. There goes Gauda. Gauda makes up the place. That's going to put him into 5th position. Now he's hustling. Leon Otshai trying to get himself into a position as well. Luca Neunschwander is in there, the Brazilian, and Nicolas Ambiado, the Chilean, is trying to make progress as well. Salim Hanna of Colombia is coming through, as is South Africa's Nicolas Roos. So plenty of good battles out there on the course. But at the moment, Dion Gauda could do with making up 1 more place. But I think he is just about done enough here to get back into pole position by getting himself back into 5th position as he comes across the line. Yes, he has. So 5th will do, but he wants to get 1 back on Jevan David. If he manages that, then Gauda, the young man from Singapore, will still be starting from pole position in the final later on. It's getting very tight-knit between David, Gauda, Otshai, Neunschwander and Nicolas Ambiado. Walter is trying to get well clear of Oleksandr Bondarev to pull clear and get himself into position. Walter is looking at 4th position on the grid. Here comes Gauda on the inside of David, and that's also Neunschwander on the inside of Otshai. Otshai on the grass, and here comes Ambiado trying to come through. Watch out for Salim Hanna. He's trying to get in there as well. Brilliant racecraft. It's absolutely hell for leather in the Academy Trophy. When isn't it in the final race of the weekend?
Yeah, in the final heat, all of the drivers are throwing caution to the wind. There is no point in holding back anymore. This is the final race. Before the final, it's either you make it into the final and get the best position possible on that starting grid, as we see 2 warning flags out for the 511 and the 512. Let's see who that was in 6th position. That's going to go out to Luca Neunschwander, and it's also going to go out to Leon Otshai. So both of those drivers getting a warning there. I'm guessing that's going to be for the incident where we saw Otshai going onto the grass. But Oleksandr Bondarev picks up the fastest lap of the race of 54.488. We've kind of forgot about the 2 leaders here, as they've both pulled away from the majority of the field, as Gafrara currently in 3rd position with a big gap back to Gauda now. It was Jevan David leading from Gauda, but not anymore.
Well, Bondarev is doing what he does best. He takes the first 2 or 3 laps to settle into a rhythm, get himself nice and comfortable, and now he's setting off on the attack after David Walter. This is what he's so good at, and this could actually benefit him if Bondarev can get past if Bondarev can catch and pass David Walter. There's a chance he may even end up on the front row of the starting grid. He's got to improve his position. So Bondarev can get past Walter. He will drop to 4 points, which would be the same as Dion Gouda, and he'll get himself onto the front row of the grid. So from Oleksandr Bondarev's point of view, it's now or never. He's got to catch after David Walter. Third position on the starting grid is good. Front row of the grid is even better. So Bondarev will be doing everything he can to get that gap down to Walter. It's down to half a second, but he's got 3.5 laps to try and do something about it. He's 0.2 of a second a lap quicker, roughly. So he does need to keep pushing, but it's not going to be easy for Walter to keep a very fired up Oleksandr Bondarev at bay. But great racing from Caleb Gafrara. He's there in third. Fourth position for Dion Gouda, ahead of Jevan David and Luca Neunschwander. Great little tussle as they come through the S's as well. And Gazi Motlakar has got a technical flag. So problems there for the young man from Mozambique. What is the problem for Gazi Motlakar? I can't see anything untoward as he comes through, but I will watch out for the 544 as he comes past our position to see if there's anything that is untoward with the car. It looks to me as though his rear bumper is loose and dragging on the floor, so that is unfortunate for Gazi Motlakar. So the young man from Mozambique in Africa has not been able to finish this final heat. He will come into the pits to retire. But up the inside, that's Leon Otschai having another crack at Luca Neunschwander. They just can't keep away from each other.
No, and it seems those rear bumpers have caused problems for many drivers throughout the course of the weekend. We've seen quite a few mechanical flags go out because of the drivers having their rear bumper dragging on the floor and causing an issue for the other drivers on the circuit at the same time as them. But we look in the mid-pack right now as Leon Otschai tries to make his way past Neunschwander. Once again, we saw those two drivers battling earlier, and it looks like Neunschwander actually pushed Otschai onto the grass. We saw a warning from both of them, so maybe they both got a little bit too aggressive in the middle of the race here. But we are now on the penultimate lap of the race. There is not long left for any positions to be made. As Jevan David chasing down the back of Dion Gouda, he needs to make this position stick.
Yeah, David could have had a top 10 start on the grid for the final later, but losing that ground has not helped. They're all side by side. That was very close indeed between Neunschwander and Otschai. Otschai was not prepared to give best to Neunschwander, and now here comes Ambiado diving up the inside of Augustin Bernier, and he gets through as they tuck up behind Neunschwander again. Oh, and it's getting a little bit too close for comfort there as Ambiado got almost sideswiped by Mark Dubnitsky, the Estonian. They just about get away with that one. There's a lot more respect from the drivers in this stage of the season as there had been from the start of the year, but that's because they've got to know each other a little bit better. They've got to work with each other, got used to the karts, got the craft of racing. They'll still go for overtaking moves, but there's a lot more respect between the drivers as they come through. Last lap, Oleksandr Bondarev doing everything he can to catch David Walter, who looks like he's about to secure a second row start for the final.
4/10 is quite a big gap to cut down in one lap unless he's marginally faster than David Walter through pretty much every corner on the circuit right now. He needs to push as hard as he can if he wants to catch on to the leader and overtake him in the closing stages of this lap right now. We are into Sector 3, so there's not going to be long left of the lap. They're going to the final section of the track. David Walter has a little look over his shoulder as he sees that Bondarev's quite far back, and it's looking like it might be a good finish for Walter to get himself on the front row of the grid.
And let's not forget that these qualifying heats, the top 10 drivers on the grid will also take 10 championship points positions going into the last weekend of the season. So Dion Gouda is about to score 10 big points as he watches David Walter and Oleksandr Bondarev come home first and second in this final lap. A great result for David Walter. Second for Bondarev. A great drive from Gafrara. Jevan David snatches. Jevan David has snatched fourth position away from Dion Gouda on the last lap. The Singaporean was so lucky that he didn't lose more time than that because he almost lost pole position for the final there. Gouda just hangs on in fifth position in front of Leon Otschai and Salim Hanna. He ties for Gladys on points, but with 2 heat wins, it is Gouda that will take pole position in front of Maciej Gladys, Oleksandr Bondarev and David Walter. From Gafrara, Darius Babiawana, Leon Otschai, Nicolas Ambiado, Renaud Franco, and with that overtake, Jevan David does score a point and starts 10th for the final. What a save by the Sri Lankan.
Brilliant jump from David on the final closing sections of the lap, gets himself up into that 4th position and secures himself 10th on the starting grid for the final. He'll be very happy with himself indeed, but Dion Gouda nearly loses that pole position, but I'm sure he'll be happy going forwards.
Well, what a great end to the Academy Trophy that was. David Walter with a victory in front of Oleksandr Bondarev and Caleb Gafrara. Jevan David ahead of Dion Gouda and Leon Otschai, an all-Asian 4th, 5th, 6th run. Salim Hanna and Luca Neunschwander in front of Nicolas Ambiado and Mark Dubnitsky. Lipinski, then Augustin Bernier and Noah Montero from Nando Weichselbaumer and Nicolas Rus, Lucas Flusha and Stefano Cagnolo, then Emil Giedrum and Alexandros Papathemio. Then we have 3 retirements from the race. Agazi Motlakar of Mozambique, Lenny Kiefer of Luxembourg, and Daniel Mualem of Israel. It's been a very exciting weekend. Unfortunately, we will have to say goodbye to 5 of the competitors this weekend, as only the top 36 qualifying drivers will be able to take their position on the final grid. A rather unfortunate case of affairs has put Lenny Kiefer and Daniel Mualem out of the race, both drivers being recovered there. And hopefully we will see them in the final later, but only 36 of the 41 drivers will be on the starting grid. But folks, you've waited long enough here this morning. It's time to set the grid for the Championship of the World. KZ is up next. Hey, this is absolutely spectacular for the planes to come over. This is going to get noisy.
Here he is. It's a bit early.
It is a bit early, but why not give us a little bit of a show to start us off with? So tell us a little bit about the planes and the personnel that are going to be taking on these displays.
The aircraft has a limit of, at low speed he does 180 kilometers an hour. Right now he is slowing down a bit to be able to perform his maneuvers here. This is just a welcome. He says hello and he wants to, he probably wants you to put your ear protection on. So right there he's at full afterburner and he's accelerating to, and a small roll, he's accelerating to be able to pull 9 Gs here in the steep turn. Just magnificent. A mighty roar.
A display worthy of a World Championship, Nicholas. And these are the kind of training maneuvers that you guys are doing week in, week out.
Exactly. Bit of a fast roll there. And straight up.
That's quite spectacular,
Bit of rolling
isn't it?
there. The rolling capacity is 270 degrees a second. You might be feeling a little bit dizzy up there.
But this is bread and butter to the guys in the Swedish Air Force, isn't it? This is exactly what you guys live for. My goodness, that takes some courage even with training.
It does. Maneuvering down to 100 meters, going up to 1,000 meters in just a few seconds there.
You know what? There's not much in the world that can bring a karting paddock to a standstill, but you guys are doing a spectacular job. Everyone around the circuit stopped.
So that's a 9G turn over there. Okay. I think he might be coming up for the slow speed turn here.
Something straight out of a Tom Cruise movie. This is absolutely what you want to see.
Inverted flying there.
This would be 100% perfect for you if you were the guy that was up there, Nicholas.
Absolutely. Okay, let's see. So, Captain Martin Ramsden, as I said, he's 51 years old. He lives in Karlskrona with his wife and 2 children. And he's about to perform a low-speed pass for us here. This year, he's been in the Air Force for 30 years. And he's been flying Gripen since 2002.
That is quite spectacular, I have to say. What an incredible performer.
Yeah. So I think he has a couple of years as an air show pilot as well. And here he'll fly by 180 kilometers an hour. That's pretty slow for an aircraft.
Must take quite some incredible dexterity to be able to keep the plane in the air at that speed.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Do you know what? I think they felt that all the way in Copenhagen, Nicholas.
They did. Sure they did. All right.
Truly stunning. Incredible scenes over the Asumring. Worthy of an FIA World Championship event. Here he comes. It's one of those rare occasions where I have lost for words. I don't want to talk over it. It's enough soundtrack as it is, Nicholas.
Exactly. Looks like he's preparing for a high-speed run, nearing the speed of sound at 1100 kilometers an hour. We're gonna hear a slight swish when he swishes past.
That is spectacular.
And barrel roll.
Well, the fans are absolutely loving it here. Really enjoying the spectacle. It's a rare treat to get to see the Swedish Air Force at their best. So a wonderful display from the Swedish Air Force, really getting us in the mood to generate some noise.
So he's waving us off here.
Well, it's time to get ourselves ready, World Championship style, here in Sweden. Well, it's time for the moment we've all been waiting for this season in the 2021 FIA Karting Academy Trophy. The drivers will make their way to the starting grid. It's been a sensational battle for all 36 competitors as they have been racing since the start of the year at Wackersdorf in Germany and Adria in Italy. And now we are here at Kristianstad in Sweden. And what a spectacular championship fight it has proved to be from the start of the season through to its conclusion. And we are going to have an amazing race that will determine the outcome of not just today's racing battle, but also an FIA Karting Academy Trophy champion. There will be a 12th different winner as we have started this incredible campaign since 2010. And now we will have a 12th different winner of this amazing accolade. Here come the drivers, escorted out by Starlight Cheer. And what a sensational race they are going to give us. The flag of Sweden flies high over the circuit as the drivers make their way through into an epic conclusion. And it will be wonderful to see what these young men and women are able to give us out on the circuit. A terrific season. They've come from all over the world on equal equipment, the same chassis, the same tires, the same engines, just one mechanic each, no teams, just pure racing. And it really has been a phenomenal competition every single year. This is our motorsport Olympics, if you like. And these young drivers have been given the opportunity to represent their country and carry their nation's flag on their suits and their karts in phenomenal fashion. And now these young stars will get themselves their representation medal from the man himself, FIA Karting President Felipe Massa. What an opportunity for these young drivers to put on a spectacular display. And now here they are, Singapore's Dion Gowder, who will start from pole position after a spectacular weekend that includes 2 wins and some brilliant racecraft throughout. In second on the grid, Poland's Maciej Gledicz. He came into the weekend leading the points and certainly has the great chance to get the title sealed. Oleksandr Bondarev of Ukraine, a phenomenal character, great tenacity, amazing racecraft, and he could win the whole thing. For Denmark, David Walter, fastest in-time qualifying and a great chance to put on another spectacular show. Caleb Gafrara from North Carolina in the United States of America. He's traveled a long way to be here, and what a performance he's given us so far. For Romania, Darius Babioana, one of the most improved drivers over the last 12 months. Great to see him at the sharp end. Leon Ochai of Japan, a great character and an amazing campaigner. Let's see what he can do from P7. 8th on the grid, Nicolas Ambiado of Chile. The quiet and very shy youngster has a great opportunity to charge his way forward. The Dutchman, Renaud Franco, dominant at Wackersdorf, one of the youngest men in the field. Let's see what he can do. Jevan David flying the flag for Sri Lanka on the international motorsport stage. For Sweden, it's Ludwig Fransson, the man who was the second fastest in time qualifying and now has a chance to fly the flag on the top of the podium. Riccardo Iannello of Italy on the podium on home soil a few weeks ago. For Monaco, it's Oscar Wirtz in his second campaign in the Academy Trophy. Could he end it on the rostrum? For Croatia, Leon Zelenko will be there on the 7th row of the starting grid. For Estonia, it is Mark Dubnitsky, who races from 15th on the starting grid on the inside line. Next up for Portugal, Noah Monteiro. What a superstar he's turned out to be this season. And the quiet, diminutive Portuguese driver has plenty of stars already on his name. Next up, it is Alexander Skelton, the very talented Latvian, who will be going off row 9 alongside the Frenchman, Augustin Bernier, who is following in big shoes and great footsteps. Let's see what he can do. Jaakko Leitinen of Finland. He will line up on the 10th row of the starting grid on the inside line. For Great Britain, it is Bart Harrison. A tough season, but with his character and his fighting nature, he's always been at the sharp end. For Algeria, Leo Robinson, representing Africa in a fantastic international competition. For Germany, Maximilian Schleimer, a great result for him is incoming, and he could go all the way to the top. From South Africa, Nicolas Roos, what a great character and a fighting spirit. Great in qualifying, great in racecraft. For Colombia, Salim Hana, a great result this season over the course of the weekends. And then next up, it is Nando Weichselbaumer of Austria. Great to see him on the 13th row of the starting grid, alongside the Brazilian star, Luca Neunschwander. Let's see what he can do from his position on the grid. For Slovakia, it is Matti Koenig, an opportunity knocking for him as he charges his way forward. And alongside him on the grid for Spain, Lucas Flucha, Sardinetta, as he is known to his friends and family. And let's see what he can do from position. Then it is Federico Al-Rifai from the United Arab Emirates. He carries the honor of the Middle East. Jinyo Kim from South Korea. Great to see him in the final once again. Let's see how many places he can make up. Next up for Argentina, it is Stefano Cagnolo, and he's been working very hard all season to make progress. Alongside him, Alberto Benitez from Paraguay. A great recovery this weekend after a difficult qualifying. For Mexico, Saul de Colombres. A brilliant weekend for him so far as he keeps working his way through. For Norway, it is Emil Gjerdrum who puts himself into a solid position at the sharp end. Then it is Mats Prus of the Czech Republic. He will line up on the 18th row of the starting grid. And taking up the last place, Alexandros Papathemiou of Greece. Great to see him in the final. So our drivers will put on a spectacular show here in the FIA Karting Academy Trophy, and they have been absolutely spectacular right from the start of proceedings. Beside me is the FIA Karting President, Felipe Massa. What a fantastic weekend we have had so far, Felipe, and obviously a great KZ2 Super Cup race and the conclusion of one of our most popular categories, the Academy Trophy. They really have put on an excellent display this year.
Well, it's just, first of all, fantastic to be here. Hello, everybody. It's also very nice to see the fans, you know, the people, you know, supporting the race outside. I think that's just amazing, you know, after this difficult time that we passed for the pandemic situation. And we are here in the very nice race event. The KZ2 was just amazing, the final. All of the races, I would say, you know, about all of the categories. Now we have the Academy, which is also one of the important category, you know, for all of the drivers, you know, to get experience, you know, to prepare themselves, to go to the junior, and then to the then also to the KZ2, KZ. So this is just amazing to see, you know, the level of the drivers, the level on how quick they learn. This is just the best, and we are here to support this important final, but also for sure we cannot wait, you know, for the KZ final, which I'm sure will be an amazing race to watch.
We're all looking forward to it. Felipe, thank you so much. It's always great to have you here.
Thank you, thank you.
So the competitors are getting themselves ready for the FIA Karting Academy Trophy. In just a couple of minutes' time, they will make their way out onto the starting grid after a phenomenal build-up. There are some great talents in this field. They've been absolutely spectacular to watch through the season. Two different winners over the season so far. Renault Franco at Wackersdorf, and then last time out, of course, at Adria. A brilliant win for Poland's Maciej Gledicz. They're both up at the sharp end of the field. It's tough to know who is going to take the win here this time. This is one of the most exciting races of a karting season, the conclusion of the FIA Karting Academy Trophy. Kai, we've seen some great racing this weekend and all through the season. Who's your money on for the title?
Oh, that's a bit of an unfair question straight away. I mean, there's been some outstanding action all the way through the field. Drivers taking wins left, right and centre, and some shock performances throughout the whole field. But if I had to put my money on somebody winning this race, I'd have to say it's going to be Dion Gauda.
He's definitely been looking good for the victory all weekend long, but we talk about the Virtual Championship coming into this weekend as well. That is mighty, mighty close. As it stands coming into this final race after the qualifying heats and on-dropped scores as well, Maciej Gledicz has 50 points, 9 more than Oleksandr Bondarev, 10 more than Renault Franco, and 18 more than Jovan David. It's mighty close in the top 4 fight, but there are 9 points that separate the drivers in the top 3 positions on the podium. So there is an awful lot to play for. 25 points for the race winner, 20 for second place, 16 for third. So it's definitely going to be mighty close as the drivers battle over one of the toughest races of the season. We've just had the 5-minute board, so a lot of opportunity to talk us through the contenders as they get ready for brilliant race action. And they represent all of the nations from around the world, well, very nearly all the nations from around the world. They've definitely put on a spectacular show. And the partisan crowd here at Sweden would love to see their boy, Ludwig Fransson, get his way to the top 3. He's worked so hard over the course of the season as well. Great to see him put on an excellent display on home territory. It's always good to see the home advantage pay good. But for Maciej Gledicz, he leads the title standings coming into this one. All he has to do is finish second to get this race result done. He doesn't even have to beat Dion Gauda to win the title. He is in a very good position. He's got competition, obviously, from Bondarev and from Renault Franco. But it's great to see him fighting tooth and nail for a championship that he and so many other of his competitors richly deserve.
Yeah, there's a lot of drivers that deserve a chance at the top of the standing tables at the end of this race. But I think based off the performance we've seen over the course of the weekend, and that he's starting on the front row, Maciej Gledicz, you've got to put your money on him winning the championship. He's been looking so strong, not just this round, but also the 2 rounds that we've had previous to this. So Maciej Gledicz, I think I'm going to say he's going to win the championship.
It's a tough one. It's a 9-point deficit that Oleksandr Bondarev carries into this race. But we've seen this time and time again when drivers are battling and fighting for the competition. You never quite know what's going to happen, and it's always going to give you a stunning competition. But what we are certain is that the drivers will be pushing tooth and nail all the way through. The air horns are going in the stands as well. It's amazing to see the fans back. They are obviously doing their best to adhere to the protocols and the displays. The track has been cleared as they have been given the 3-minute board, so it is time to clear the track. This is always the slightly nervous moment for the young drivers out there. They really have put on a fantastic display, and a massive congratulations to all of the competitors in this field. They have been phenomenal from the start of the season. And this is an end of an era, always in the FIA Karting Academy Trophy. Having seen them from the start of the season, put on a spectacular show, got to know them from the first weekend in Wackersdorf in Germany, over Adria in Italy, and then here in Kristianstad in Sweden. It's always a shame because this is the end of their season. But what we can do is we can wish them well for the seasons ahead and look forward to seeing them racing wherever they go.
Well, it's been great watching these drivers develop out of the course of the season. As, for example, one driver that may be at the back starting the season may not be so confident in the car. At the end of the season, they'll be right up at the front end. It's amazing to see throughout this field. Especially, it's easy to get into for somebody that hasn't drove proper championships or competitive racing before, because obviously in the Academy Cup, all the drivers have pooled engines, the same engines, same equipment, and one mechanic. So it's a fair playing field.
That's what we like about it. It gives us a chance for the drivers to race on their own terms in pure motorsport, in great competition and competitive spirit. And there have been a lot of friendships that have been built over this paddock over the seasons as well. They never knew each other coming into the season ahead. None of them got to meet each other really prior to this. Only a handful of friendships were already formed. But now these guys will be friends for life. I know there are competitors that got to know each other through the FIA Karting Academy Trophy years gone by. And they're still chatting away with them. They're still good mates. They're still bosom buddies. And you really get to see a nice spirit of community given with these drivers. The 1-minute board goes up over the circuit here. And so now it is time for the Academy Trophy drivers to get themselves ready for the start of the last race of the FIA Karting Academy Trophy season.
Especially as a driver, when you see that 1-minute board go up, you're focusing on the track ahead. You're not letting any distractions get in your way, as you're focused on the race and the race alone. As soon as you're on the track, there's only you, your own mind, and the car on that circuit. So the 30-second board is up, and we'll soon be underway with some more Academy action.
It's always one of the most exciting races of a karting season, an Academy Trophy final, where everyone's in the same machinery, and it comes down to how the drivers and their one mechanic have set the tone and got themselves into position. For Dion Gauda of Singapore, for Maciej Gledicz of Poland, for Oleksandr Bondarev of Ukraine, for David Walter of Denmark at the front end of the field, this is their last chance to fight for the title. Gledicz on 50, Bondarev on 41, Franco on 40, Jovan David on 32, This is definitely going to be the battle to end all battles for the 2021 FIA Karting Academy Trophy. For Singapore, Dion Gauda in pole position from Poland's Maciej Gledicz, then Oleksandr Bondarev and David Walter, Caleb Gafrara and Darius Babiawana, Leon Ochai and Nicolas Ambiado, from Renault Franco and Ivan David, Ludwig Franzen and Ricardo Iannello, Oscar Wirtz and Leon Zelenko, Mark Dubnitsky and Noah Montero, Alexander Skelton and Augustin Bernier, from Jaakko Leitinen and Bart Harrison, Leo Robinson, Maxi Schleimer, Nicolas Roos, Salim Hadar, Nando Weisselbaumer, Luca Neuenschwander, Matti Koenig, Lucas Flusha, Federico Alrifai, Junior Kim, Stefano Cagnolo, Alberto Benitez, Saul de Colombres, Emil Giedrum, Matti Prus and Alexandros Papafthimiou. 36 drivers from all 4 corners of the globe. This is their last chance to get ready for the big show.
This is their last and only chance in the season to put on a show and put on a performance that they themselves will be proud with. We see an early grid up in comparison to what we've seen over the course of the day. We've seen some very late grid ups by the leaders, but it's great to see everybody getting into formation and ready to start the race.
And this is the toughest race of their weekend. 21 laps of the circuit. It is the equivalent for the drivers of 25.64 kilometers of racing. And this is the race that crowns it all. The Karting Academy Trophy champion will be decided in 21 laps. Let's do it! To the first corner and a big sweep from Maciej Gledicz as he gets into second place, tied in behind Dion Gauda. They come through the first corners into the chicane for the first time. Will everybody get through okay? There's a couple of drivers out of position as they swarm around. They've just about got through without too much drama, and as they tuck their way through the first couple of corners, it's already a cracking start at the front from Dion Gauda. Maciej Gledicz had to tuck into the second, third position as they come through in a spin in the field. That is Oscar Wirtz. Oscar Wirtz has spun it. What a shame for the Monegasque. So I'm afraid it's Oscar Wirtz out of the race. That is unfortunate indeed for the 532, and that really does ruin his weekend. It's a total shame for Oscar Wirtz. The race continues on up at the front as the field tightens its way through the S's, but out in front it is Dion Gauda battling for position. Maciej Gledicz has dropped to third, by the way. The 517 is there in P3. It's Oleksandr Bondarev who is battling for victory with the man in front, Dion Gauda. Fourth position as they come through. That looks to me like Caleb Gafrara. It is indeed the young man from the United States. Then it's David Walter and Ivan David. He's done it again.
What an amazing start there from Ivan David. His starts have been world class.
Oh, and a move. Bondarev getting the move on the inside. Gledicz is getting there as well. That's shunted Dion Gauda down to third position. Gafrara is able to get through into third position potentially as well. He's certainly setting up the move, but Oleksandr Bondarev has got through. Here comes the move from Gafrara. He drifts out wide. Is he going to be able to catch that on the exit? No. Gauda manages to get back on terms. He has a look again on the inside line, and in fifth position there, that is David Walter. Renault Franco has now managed to get past Ivan David as he fights his way to come back into the championship fight, but as it stands at the moment, it's going to be Maciej Gledicz that will take the title by only a handful of points to Gauda and Bondarev, but with Bondarev getting through into the lead, that could well have changed things. So let's see what the order is as they come across the line. Who is it going to be? It's Gledicz looking for the title by 6 points to Oleksandr Bondarev. So Bondarev's victory will not be enough to win the title. He needs to be several places ahead of Maciej Gledicz for it to happen. So he's just got to battle and hope that the race comes to him, but he's certainly leading the way for the moment. For third, it's Gauda, Gafrara and Walter.
Yeah, Walter just made his way past Gafrara there, just missed it in the fourth corner, and that was such a shame there from Gafrara, just a little bit too optimistic, overshot his braking point, and then, overall lost another position there, so dropped down into fifth position right now was Caleb Gafrara, but we look at the front, there's Oleksandr Bondarev and Maciej Gledicz. These two will be battling it out to the last corners of the lap. I'm sure this will go very far forwards as Maciej Gledicz, if he finishes in this position right now, he is safe for the championship win. Oleksandr Bondarev, it doesn't really matter where he finishes right now, he'll be safe for second position as well.
But he doesn't want to be second. He wants to win the title. Here comes David Walter having a look on the inside of Gauda. And through comes Gafrara as well. And the door is still open for Renault Franco. Franco is going to charge his way back into contention. Great move there, and he's not the only one. Darius Babiawana is going to get his move up the inside line. That is costly for Dion Gauda. That's going to drop him a long way down to 7th position. The next one to attack him is going to be Ivan David of Sri Lanka, then Ochai of Japan, and Ambiado of Chile. But what a sensational display it is going to be to the end of this race as the drivers continue to battle through. David on the move there as he gets through on Dion Gauda. So Ivan David into 7th position. Very close battle between the drivers as they come through on that far side. And now they come into the 3rd sector. So Dion Gauda really struggling. He's got Ochai and Ambiado for close company. Oh, Alexander Skelton's got a technical flag. That is so unfortunate. That is going to put the Latvian out of this race.
Yeah, that's such a shame there, getting a mechanical flag in the final race of the day. Why couldn't this happen earlier on in the weekend?
Oh, spin! That is a big problem. That is Renault Francote. That is Renault Francote. He's out of the cart and out of the race. That is the man who could have fought for the championship. Renault Francote is out.
That's such a shame there from Franco. Just made that mistake in the background as Ivan David's trying to hold on to his position. Ochai on the outside as David actually loses a couple of positions there. Is he going to be able to hold on to it? No, he isn't. He's going to lose 2 positions in the meanings of doing so. No, he only loses 1. So Ivan David is able to rescue that mission there as David. That could have went very wrong there if he just put his car in the wrong position. He could have even been off, never mind just losing a couple of positions. But David...
Oh, too much wheel banging there. Up on the inside comes Iannello. He tries to get his move there on Dion Gauda. And Dion Gauda just about lets him go. Ochai is in the mix there as well, with Robinson and Dudnitsky trying to work their way forward as well. So it's all getting a little bit messy in the closing stages of this season. But certainly for Renault Francote, his dreams of winning the title have taken a massive hammer blow. They are over. I think he has managed to get going again. Has he? No, he is out of the race for good now, unfortunately, Renault Francote. So that is game over for the Dutchman. He's done so much hard work this year. He was brilliant at Wackersdorf, but sadly, Renault Francote will not win the Academy Trophy. It's going to be Maciej Gledizh or Oleksandr Bondarev, and if it stays like this, or even if it changes, it's going to go the way of the Polish driver, Maciej Gledizh. He just has to keep it together in front of the rest of the pack. Nando Weichselbaumer is the man who comes away with a warning flag from all of that contretemps out on the circuit. 3rd place, David Walter. 4th is Gafrara. 5th is Babiwana. And 6th is Ambiado in front of Ivan David. But all of that toing and froing really has shaken up the field and spread them out a little bit in the top 6. It's 7th and 8th place downwards where the battle is really joined. But Ludwig Fransen is making his way back up the order now. He's into 8th place in behind Ivan David. So what if these two could team up and make their way through the field? David Walter sets the fastest lap of the race. He's trying to catch up to Bondarev and Gledizh. It could be a very interesting end to the race for them, as Caleb Gafrara runs in 4th from Darius Babiwana, and Ivan David chasing after Nicolas Ambiado. There is Ambiado. He was running on the 536. Ivan David doing a good job in front of Fransen.
Dion Gauda's championship is going to scraps. It's just a shame to see him falling down the order. He was up in 4th position at the start of this race. Now he's down into 6th, as Walter and Gafrara have been able to get past him in the championship standings. So great driving from the both of them to be in such a high position to score such great points. But 7 laps into this race, there's still a long time to go if Bondarev wants to hold on to this win.
So it is a very tricky end to the season. Renault Francote looks like he's going to hold on to at least 3rd position in the driver's standings, which will be a good return from his efforts after the tricky nature of the racing this season. It has been very tricky, but Maciej Gledizh looks like he's going to make it a very convincing title victory. Alexander Bondarev may get his first win of the Academy Trophy and will seal 2nd in the point standings as a result of doing so. David Walter with another fastest lap of the race as he tries to catch them, though it's not done. Caleb Gafrara in front of Darius Babiwana as they battle away. These are the 2 leaders, Bondarev and Gledizh, but look back, and David Walter of Denmark is actually catching them big style. He is reeling them in, and this could be a furious battle. David Walter has still got a mathematical chance of winning this title if things go his way. He's got to hope that he passes Bondarev and Gledizh and they fall back down the order, but we're not even at half distance in this race yet. There is still a lot of battles to come.
Yeah, things would have to go pear-shaped right now for Bondarev and Gledizh if Walter wanted to win the championships, and that's the 5-4-5 off. If we look down to the bottom of the field, that's going to be Stefano Cognalo. So that's such a shame to see him off the field, and that'll be him out of the race.
And that's Sol de Colombres with him. So unfortunately, the Argentine and the Mexican have ended up ending their races together. So Stefano Cognalo and Sol de Colombres are off the track together. Look at how much Maciej Gledizh is pushing now on Alexander Bondarev, and that's because David Walter is reeling them both in. He knows how quickly he is catching them. He doesn't want Walter to mess things up for either driver here, and he certainly could do. Walter has more experience of this circuit than the other 2 drivers, so he can make a challenge for it. This is going to be a thorn in the side for Bondarev and Gledizh. Walter is catching, and he's doing it rapidly. It's going to be now or never, really, for Gledizh. He needs to make the overtake. Let's see what he can do through the reverse chicane. They come into the right, into the left, Hops over the curbs. Has he got a chance to go for it into the hairpin? No, he hasn't, but Walter is lining up an attack into turn 5. The way things are going, up and over the top of the crest, up towards the hairpin once again. And it's all stalemate from these three, but Darius Babiawana is now on the pace. He's now trying to catch up to them to get that 2.7 second deficit away. 3 drivers still at stalemate. I think Walter might make the bid for Gladys before Gladys gets the bid on Bondarev the way things are going. Bondarev trying to protect, but Gladys and Walter are still all over the back of him.
For Gladys right now, it's overtake or be overtaken as David Walter has arrived on the back of these 2 drivers. Oleksandr Bondarev just defending from both of them right now as Maciej Gladys is going to get a little bit restless right now in behind Bondarev. I'm pretty sure he was happy sitting behind the leader for the time being, but now that Walter's arrived, I'm sure he won't.
If I'm Gladys at this point and I've got foresight in the championship, I would let Walter go, because even finishing 3rd would be enough to win the title, and you don't know what's going to happen when those 2 battle away for position. So it's a tricky situation for Gladys to be in, but it's all about how he deals with the pressure cooker of this situation. He wants to go for the overtake on Bondarev. He knows that Bondarev is not going to be too kind about letting him get through, but he also knows that Walter is very quick. Here goes Walter on the inside. That was sensible from Maciej. He needed to let him go. Once he was that far alongside, he can still win the title from 3rd position. So Maciej Gladys does not need to panic. He may have lost the lead, but that's okay. He may have lost 2nd. That's okay too. He's still got the title in his pocket. If he keeps this together, he will drop to 60 points, but crucially, Bondarev will still only have 58. It's still okay for Gladys.
Well, you have to remember, Jake, these guys are racing drivers. Of course, they're not going to want to lose a position. Even if they are going to win the championship, they're going to want to win it in the highest position possible. But David Walter on an absolute charge right now. He's looking to take the win of Oleksandr Bondarev. It won't make a difference to Bondarev in the championship, but Walter, I think the highest position he can actually get in the championship right now, if these 2 drivers are 2nd and 3rd, he can only get 3rd.
He can indeed, but he's managed to move himself up into 3rd place now, past the rather sadly retired Renault Franco. So now they're going to battle away together as they race for supremacy. Battle still going strong. Some good overtakes in the middle of the pack as well. It's Babiawana in front of Kafrara, but he's brought that gap down to just 2 seconds as these 3 now continue to battle. Salim Hana has got a warning flag. That's unfortunate for the Colombian. But is Maciej Gladys going to get his chance back on Walter again? Walter's going to make the bid in the final bend as he goes for the inside line and takes the lead from Oleksandr Bondarev. Excellent move from David Walter. And now the Danish driver takes the lead. But here comes Bondarev. He wants it back again. He's been shut down. And watch for Gladys. He's going to get through in a second. Great opportunistic driving from Maciej Gladys. Now Bondarev wants him back again. But David Walter taking the lead in magnificent fashion.
Gladys with nerves of steel to stick his car there in on turn 2. We've only seen, well, that was only the 2nd overtake that we've seen there in turn 2. We saw James Wharton earlier on in the weekend, and now we have Maciej Gladys repeating that overtake there and getting himself into 2nd position. Now he's going to chase down the leader of David Walter.
Oh.
Walter gets a warning flag. I'm guessing that's from driving down the straight when there was contact between Bondarev and Walter. They went side by side, and then we saw Walter try to squeeze Bondarev. It didn't quite work out. But who's this in 4th position? Watch out for Babiawana. Babiawana's on the back of this battle now. He's coming to pose a threat. Can he get himself in a podium position? We can only wait and see. 8 laps left.
This is excellent from Darius Babiawana. He's been chipping away at these 3 all the way through the race, and now we come into the third, as it were, of this race. We're on the 14th lap of 21. So now it's all going to be about how much Darius Babiawana has been able to look after the tyres. Caleb Kafrara in P5. Jovan David, by the way, has fought himself back into 6th position. If he can pick up another couple of places, he can finish this season top 5. So that is obviously going to be on his mind. But Caleb Kafrara is the man he's tying with on points, along with Dion Gauda, and they're 1 point back from Riccardo Iannello. So this is obviously a very difficult mission now for Jovan David and Caleb Kafrara. They're about to get into a great battle for 6th, 7th place. Iannello's just lost the place now to Leo Robinson. The Algerian is charging his way through the field and looking to end his title fight on a high note. But here comes Oleksandr Bondarev over the top of the crest with Darius Babiawana reeling him in, and he could go for the podium here, the Romanian, who is likely to finish the season in the top 10 of the points. What if he can get through into 3rd position? He's having a look at him. He doesn't want to go for it into turn 4, but he might get a chance into the hairpin.
How about this? From 5th all the way down to 8th in the championship are tied on points. Now, how often do you see that? They're all on 32 points. So any change in the standings could have a drastic effect on the championship order right now. Here's Babiuana going to look to the outside. As going defensive right now is Oleksandr Bondarev. Bondarev not able to do anything right now. Can Babiuana get on the inside?
Well, Babiuana is only 3 points back from that quartet of drivers on 32 points. If he gets into 3rd place, he's going to leapfrog them all and get into 5th place in the Drivers' Championship. So this is a big opportunity for Babiuana, and he knows it. He's just got to keep pushing, and that's Oleksandr Bernier. Oleksandr Bernier with a technical flag now. So problems for him. He must have damage to his car, and that is a shame because the Frenchman, who is down in 18th, is now going to end his race in the pit lane. That is unfortunate. So here comes Darius Babiuana, breathing down the neck of Oleksandr Bondarev, up and over the top of the crest. Bondarev started to defend. He knows that Babiuana's there. Watch for the switchback maneuver, side by side. Babiuana making his bid. Oleksandr Bondarev protecting the inside line. Watch for Babiuana. He can't get the switch. That was well set up there by Bondarev. Now he's going to protect the inside line, hold it through the S's. This is well delivered from Oleksandr Bondarev. Babiuana will need something very smart to get past the Ukraine driver in this phenomenal form.
He just can't do anything about the driver ahead right now. Bondarev on a brilliant defensive drive, just pinning it to the white line, not letting Babiuana have a look to the inside, but talking about the inside, there he is. He's on the inside, but he has to slot in behind there. Oleksandr Bondarev just with a good enough run to hold off Babiuana for one more lap. So they go into the second corner, and look how close they are. Nose to tail is Babiuana and Bondarev right now. They go down into fourth corner. You can see the opposite side lean there from Babiuana. That's an interesting tactic which we see from just a handful of drivers in karting, and it's to balance out the kart, especially the rear end, to try and not lose it. Jumping forwards in the kart now, Babiuana, he wants as much momentum as possible. He needs to get into 3rd position.
I have seen drivers in Gearbox do this. I've seen drivers do this in the OK category, but never have I seen anybody use the opposite lean angle approach in the Academy Trophy. And Darius Babiuana now trying every trick in the book to try and get past Oleksandr Bondarev. It gives him a great exit speed, actually, as he now tries to get the undercut maneuver on Oleksandr Bondarev out of the final turn. But everywhere he places the kart, he's already there. Oh, he's trying to sell him the dummy move into turn 1, and he might just get him set up into the chicane. No, Bondarev parks the kart exactly where Darius Babiuana doesn't want him to be. It's a great battle. Here he goes. Babiuana launches on the inside. Can he shut him down on the exit, though? Bondarev gets him straight back again. My goodness, this is a great battle for 3rd.
The question is, can Bondarev hold up this defensive form for another 4 laps, or is this going to tire him out too much? This is a race of stamina. Black flag for Bernier.
Well, he's obviously ignored the technical flag. That will be the reason. He's obviously still out on the circuit making overtakes. And unfortunately, if you ignore the technical flag for 3 consecutive laps, you will receive the black flag. So that is unfortunate, but Oleksandr Bernier will now have to report to the pits. So David Walter and Maciej Gledij, 1st and 2nd, battling for the title. If Walter can pick up one more point than Oleksandr Bondarev, he will be 2nd in the Drivers' Championship of the FIA Karting Academy Trophy. And for Bondarev, he is under massive pressure from Darius Babiuana. If Babiuana gets through, that's going to drop Oleksandr Bondarev a place, and that will give David Walter 2nd in the championship. Here goes Babiuana, and he's through! Brilliant run from the Romanian Darius Babiuana into 3rd position. Not good news for Oleksandr Bondarev. Excellent news for Babiuana and Romania.
And Babiuana gets himself some breathing room as well, so Oleksandr Bondarev not able to respond to the claims, but he is able to now as he goes up the inside. Will he be able to hold on to it? No, he isn't. They bang wheels as Bondarev picks up a warning flag. That must have been for an earlier incident between the 2 drivers, but Bondarev drops down now into 4th position, but Babiuana into 3rd. This is going to get fierce.
That was astonishing from Darius Babiuana. He reacted to that beautifully, saw that the gap was going to open up again on the far side, changed directions in lightning speed. Oh, and a spin! That is Bondarev! That is Oleksandr Bondarev! What has happened in the final turn? Oleksandr Bondarev is gone. Now, whether there was contact or not, I can't tell you. I couldn't see anything. But Oleksandr Bondarev has gone off the road there, and that has ruined his chances of being 2nd in the points. That is absolutely heartbreaking for Oleksandr Bondarev. It will not come his way, and that means that David Walter will now be 2nd in the championship fight if he remains in position in the lead from Bondarev, Franco, Gauda and Ianello. But my goodness me, for David Walter, this will be his greatest victory if he could just hang on in front of Maciej Gledicz and Dariusz Babiawana for one more lap.
Yeah, that's such a shame there for Bondarev on the penultimate lap of the race. Spins out, and that's his championship fights over. But what a race here from Walter. Gets himself into lead, and then no trouble from now on. Maciej Gledicz looks like he'll take a comfortable P1 in the championship, but it definitely hasn't been a comfortable race.
But what an end to the season, as there is David Walter hanging on in front of Maciej Gledicz. The top two drivers in the title fight are going to be the top two drivers in the race, but they will be in reverse order. Walter is going to take the title. Walter is going to take the victory. Maciej Gledicz is going to take the title. You are looking at the top two drivers in the FIA Karting Academy Trophy this season. There is the man who's about to take the title. He'll be second in the race, but he will win the title. David Walter will get the plaudits and win at Kristianstad. Out of the final turn, Walter wins the race. Gledicz wins the title. Absolutely majestic from Maciej Gledicz. He wins the Academy Trophy 2021. Well done to David Walter, though. What a drive. He deserved that victory. Denmark will fly the flag on the top of the podium here at Kristianstad, but Maciej Gledicz will be the Academy Trophy champion, and joining him on the podium will be the superstar Romanian Dariusz Babiawana. What a drive.
What a charge through from Dariusz Babiawana. You can see what that means for him. He is so... Oh, no, you cannot do that.
Dariusz. Well, that's a very tough end to the race if that's going to go the wrong way for him. But Maciej Gledicz battling to the victory and getting an exceptional run there in the title. Absolutely phenomenal from the 517 Maciej Gledicz. He takes the congratulations from the other drivers in the fray. But what an amazing result as Maciej Gledicz finishes second, and that is enough to make him the FIA Karting Academy Trophy champion. The 12th winner of this incredible competition. Walter is first, Gledicz is second, Dariusz Babiawana crosses the line in third. From Leo Robinson, Javan David, Bart Harrison and Dion Gauda, Riccardo Iannello and Leon Ochai, from Nicolas Ambiado and Caleb Gafrara, Maxi Schleimer, Leon Zelenko, Luca Neuenschwander of Brazil in front of the hometown hero Ludwig Franzen, and then it is Jaakko Leitinen and Salim Hanna, Federico Al-Rifai of Dubai, Nando Weichselbaumer in front of Noah Montero, then it is Mark Dubnitsky and Matti Koenig, and then Lucas Flusha from Junior Kim, Alexandros Papathemiou, Matti Pruz, Alberto Benitez, Nicolas Rus, and Emil Gjödrum. The retirements, Oleksandr Bondarev. Such a great race this season. He deserved so much more than that. Augustin Bernier, Sol de Colombres and Stefano Cagnolo. Renaud Franco, the man who won at Wackersdorf. What a shame for him. Alexander Skelton and the man who spun out on the first lap, Oscar Wirtz. Motorsport giveth and motorsport taketh away. It's given to David Walter, and it's rewarded the title for Maciej Gledicz of Poland.
Yeah, a brilliant end to the championship, but Renaud Franco, it's such a shame to see his championship go out like that. The last two rounds have just not been going his way, but Maciej Gledicz, hats off to him, a floor slide victory to get himself the win in the championship.